So, hi Gemini, my name is Chris and this is your wonderful reading for December 2025, and I just had a beautiful meditation, and let's just see if I can raise your frequency a little bit with your help. The center of the Celtic cross for December is the Six of Pentacles, and we see the Six of Pentacles in December a lot. Why? Because the universe is changing, or I should say the human consciousness is actually changing. It's that big, really. It's a seismic paradigm shift, and December is the last month of 2025. So if you have given a lot in the last few years, then you are going to receive in 2026. And in December 2025, this change, right, this evening out, this balancing act, right, is happening. Six of Pentacles, center of your reading. We've seen the Justice card all again and again, and the Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles as well. Crossing energy is the devil. He shows up a lot in December as well. So if you have been going through some sort of dark night of the soul, and let's not forget, it comes out like this, right? This Six of Pentacles energy is standing on top of the devil. But you're going to do some shadow work. But if you learned the lesson throughout the last few years, right, you know how not to engage with shadow aspects of yourself. So negation, how do you deal with the devil? Negation never works. If you try to negate something, you're just giving it more power. So if you fight something, that's like these Chinese finger traps, right? So if you pull away, pull apart, and the stronger you pull apart, right? The stronger you try to get your finger out, the tighter it gets, right? So you're giving whatever you're giving, whatever you're resisting, whatever you're negating, you're giving energy, right? And you're coming, maybe like many of us, from a dark night of the soul energy. Last 7 years might not have been too easy for decent human beings, that's for sure. Page of Swords in the foundation. Let's just see where this is going. Nine of Cups, right? So if it's a mindfuck thing, right? Let's just say it how it is. And there's the Page of Swords, right? If it's a mindfuck thing, just disengage, right? Disengaging is always the trick. If you're dealing with toxic people, with devilish energy, with narcissistic energy, right? Which is very much devilish energy, right? But you got this, right? But it's in December, it seems like we're confronted with one last test, right? Many of us. There's the Nine of Swords, worrying, overthinking energy, but this is also past energy. And this is all about how to cultivate your mind and how to be practical about the Nine of Cups guy, right? The Nine of Cups card, that's the crown of your reading. So it's not a bad reading just because the devil is here, just because you got the Nine of Swords in your recent past, overthinking energy, right? Worrying a lot, sleepless nights, things like that. These are frequencies that are not helpful. And you really have to cultivate your mind. You really have to be Page of Swords energy. That's the foundation. You're just awake, right? You're just awake. You're aware of your own frequency, right? And you're dealing with that as it comes along. So if there's a negative thought, if you're catastrophizing, if you think about, oh my God, I'm worrying so much, this could happen, that could happen, this is not going to solve a problem. If you're going to solve a problem, you sit to your desk or wherever, right? And you make a list, you analyze the situation, and you sort out options how to deal with stuff, right? And I think you're over that situation where you're really deep into Dark Night of the Soul territory. But in December, a lot of these memories come up, right? And the question is, how do you deal with them? Well, you understand that you cannot negate the devil, right? You cannot fight the devil. You cannot fight bad thoughts. You cannot fight darker feelings that come along, right? First of all, you have to accept them as they are, and then you have to work with them and transform them and actively focus your mind on what you want to create. And what you want to create is the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups here. Pretty sure what, let's just see what comes up. There's the Four of Wands, so that's a selection you're not fond about, but you're in the energy of the Victory March, so you totally got that. There's your Ten of Pentacles, right? There's your Ten of Pentacles in the outside position, and you're going to achieve this Ten of Pentacles, whatever you want to create. This could be a job, career situation where you're just really successful, or you're just plain out making good money, right? Something very successful connected to the outside position. The key to it all is slow and steady wins the race, right? Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, right? So this is how you bring about the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is wealth, abundance, and prosperity. That's beautiful energy. You got the Six of Wands here. That's the Victory March, right? This is how you do it. You're not worrying. You're not going to the wall, basically, with your head against the wall, something like that. You're just focusing and giving energy to that, what you want to create, which is a practice, which is, you can crack that nut kind of with your mind, you know the Chinese finger traps, you know how that works, right? But if you are afraid, if you are in lower frequencies, guilt, fear, shame, you forget that because you're just reacting to the situation, and the first impulse is to fight it, I want to, and that's exactly how the finger trap works, you resist it, you try to negate it, you react to it instead of responding. A response is always deliberate, right? Reaction is always immediate, right? So you want to, and that's what the devil does. The devil is trying to lower your frequency. The devil kind of needs your cooperation to play you, right? Just like the narcissist, right? And there is a devilish energy here. It could be an old habit, an old thought pattern, an old pattern of feeling, right? Catastrophizing, overthinking, worrying about stuff, right? But instead of worrying about stuff, you could already work on a solution or analyze the problem, right? Or get some help, or ask people, right? But you got this, right? You are in the, it's not a bad reading, right? It's not. You're totally aware how to deal with this, right? The universe is trying to even something out, equal give and take. You've given a lot, you're going to receive a lot. There is what you want to receive. Ten of Pentacles, you're in the total victory mindset. The key to it all, use your mind not to worry, right? But to create, to focus your mind on what you want to create and nurture. Slow and steady wins the race here. Do not fight, do not negate. Train your mind to let stupid people win arguments, right? You don't always need to be right, even if you are right? There are just stupid people who don't get right. They don't understand it. So arguing with them is like a Chinese finger trap, right? The more you argue, the more they go against you, right? And the more energy, they like that, right? Narcissistic people, toxic people, they like drama. They like fighting, you know? So if you don't want to roll around in the dirt with the pigs, right, you just disengage and go to a higher level and take care of something that makes sense for you in your life, right? That's the key to your success, and the victory march is here. 6 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. You're creating something beautiful, and it's fulfillment. It's the 10, right? And the way you do it is joyful creation, peace of mind. Focus on what you want to create. Do not fight the old. Do not fight the antagonist, right? Finger trap, right? Hierophant, spiritual lecturer, spiritual leader. You know that. You understand that. And then there's the heavy ending, right? You have already planted your seeds for 2026. That's the... Yeah, and underneath there's the Queen of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. You already planted the seeds for 2026, right? And they will grow, they will be fertile, right? Looks very good here for 2026. Check out the 2026 reading. 7 of Pentacles. You laid the foundation for great success, and you're closing this horrible chapter. That's the Dark Night of the Soul energy. That's the last 7 years. That's Game of Thrones winter, so to speak, right? You have been worrying a lot, and there's the 9 of Swords, worrying a lot, overthinking, kind of taking or tapping into the trap of the devil. And the devil is always trying to, it's all about negation with the devil, right? The devil is constantly differentiating and negating, primarily negating, you know? And externalizing, right? It was your fault, not my fault. You know, you're responsible. It's your fault. Always pointing into the past. Guilt is a function of the past, basically. Responsibility, on the other hand, is a function of the present. Taking responsibility for your life instead of ruminating about whose fault it was, right? And the narcissist always wants to bring you back into this negation game, right? It was her fault, his fault, he did that, he did. That's long gone, right? You have to close this chapter, and this chapter is going to close. There's a heavy ending, and it's Swords energy. That's a mindfuck energy, and it is ending. That's the your victory, actually. That is your victory, right? That is the victory of the Hierophant. And how do you do this? By just disciplining your mind. That's a heavy reading. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is, right? So you will be tested in December. That's pretty much the short story here. Somebody will come along and test you, but you got this. You've been through the Dark Night of the Soul. You've been overthinking, worrying, and so much that you have learned how to use your mind, and the universe is trying to give you all that success. But you have to prove it one last time that you learned the lesson. You got this, right? Successful, and you're joyfully creating your 10 of Pentacles, whatever you're working on, right? Do not concentrate on the obstacles. Do not concentrate on the naysayers. Do not concentrate on all these people who try to talk you out of it, who try to talk you down, who try to tell you, oh, who do you think you are, right? That's a good one, right? The devil always likes that phrase. Who do you think you are? He's whispering that phrase into many ears, right? Who do you think you are? Why would you do that, right? Do you think you can do that? Who do you think you are? Things like that. Disempowering statements, right? And this is mindfuck energy, right? That's 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords. But 10 of Swords is the ending of this, right? And you're ending it not by opposing it, not by saying, oh, but I can do it, but I'm qualified, but I did all that, right? And of course I can. And, you know, why are you not supporting me? It's fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. Just do it. Just get rid of these naysayers by disengagement, right? The devil is clarified by 5 of Pentacles, right? Fear, guilt, shame, inadequacy, doubt. That's the devil's game, right? And what is your game? Yeah. You're awake. 2 times the Page of Swords now. You're awake. Yeah, and see, there's the devil, and you are resisting that negative energy, all these naysayers, by just focusing on what you want to create, and that it brings you success, inner peace, right? That's the High Priestess, clarifying the 6 of Wands. That's the 8 of Cups, clarifying the 10 of Pentacles, as right? Leaving behind what no longer serves you, emotional baggage, you know, throw it overboard, get rid of it. Accept the fact that there are toxic people in this world. You can't change them. You can just disengage from them, right? And this disengagement, that's the Wheel of Fortune. That's the big lesson that you have learned in the last 7 years, I would say. We all have kind of learned that the hard way, right? But you know, the devil can't play us unless we give him permission, or her permission, right? Okay, let's just see. These are too many cards. So you got this, but I mean, it's Christmas, right? I made it short about Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and whatever it is that you're celebrating. December is a month where the devil likes to test us, right? It's the season. Memories. Memories is the Blue Angel Oracle card. Healing. Welcome to a time of deep reflection and healing. Let go, relax, and be grateful for the many blessings in your life. Over the coming days, you may find yourself reflecting on the past. Allow these memories to surface like precious jewels in an ocean of light as you revisit times of sorrow, laughter, pain, joy, family, friends, and loved ones. You hold precious moments in your heart, pearlescent drops of joy and sadness that flow like blessed summer rains. Like life is a gift, every moment a miracle. The light and love we each hold in our hearts are part of an eternal story. As you spiritually connect with those you love and all who have been part of your journey, be reminded that all on earth may come and go, but the love is forever present. Inner peace, healing, right? Memories. You know, who do you think you are? Do you think you can do this? Guilt, fear, shame. Usually it's about the whole concept of guilt, for example, is pointing towards the past, you know? If somebody is guilty of something, that is something that already happened. And while you're busy, you know, you can go for justice, you know? But don't go for revenge, and you have to take care of the moment, right? This is always where you escape this devilish, narcissistic, toxic energy. The narcissist wants you to either spin some idea about how the future could be, you know, could have been, or something that would have been, should have been, past energy. So the devil, the toxic person, the narcissist is always trying to lure you into a story about the past or about the future. Why? Because he knows, the devil knows, that your power lies exactly, you escape him by enjoying the moment, by joyful creation, by focusing on your responsibility of what you can do where you are with what you've got right here, right now. That's where you take responsibility in the here and now, right? That's the wisdom of the Hierophant. And you're not trying to change other people. 2 of Cups clarifying the Hierophant, right? Let them be the a-holes that they are, right? Let them be bipolar, narcissistic, primitive primates. Let them behave like toddlers. You're not doing that. You're not joining them. You're not joining the pigs in the mud. You're not rolling around with them in the filth, right? And did you learn that lesson? This is the question here on the table. The answer also on the table, yes, you did. Because you're protecting your inner peace. You don't try to change people. You're trying to change yourself. You're trying to do what you can with what you've got where you are, right? And you're just disengaging from all these unnecessary battles, explanations, justifications, entertaining of stories that are disempowering about the future or the past. You focus on the moment, and this is where your victory lies. This is where you create. This is where all of your wisdom is focusing on, and this is a successful ending of a chapter that was defined by mindfucks. The mindfucks are ending, and thank God for that. And thank God you did learn the lesson, and you're applying it. And 2026 is going to be so much better, because that's the new paradigm, and then the energies of the new paradigm. That's the first time when the energies of the new paradigm are stronger than the old energies, right? Lizard spirit, dream the world into being. And I'm not going to read this, but dream the world into being doesn't mean that you escape reality and you have, wishful thinking and something like that. It's not what it's all about. What it's all about is dream the world into being. You have to know what you want, a vision of where you want to go, what you want to create. You have to analyze what tools you are. Are you skilled enough? What do you need to bring that about, right? And then small incremental steps. You just show up and do the work. And you do the work joyfully, clarified by the devil. That's how you escape him, because the devil wants you to be here, crying in bed, worrying about stuff, instead of joyfully doing your work, right? And yeah, you're doing it. You're totally doing it, but you will be tested. Guilt, fear, shame stories. Who do you think you are? It's Christmas, right? It's Hanukkah, it's Kwanzaa. It's the season for these testings. Keep your inner peace, protect your inner peace, speak your truths. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to justify yourself. You have every right to be who you are, what you do, and you're very successful in being you, right? The devil is always trying to talk you up out of being yourself. The devil always tries to sell you on this idea that you need to be someone else, right? Someplace else, somewhere else, doing something different, right? No, all your power is in the here and now, in the moment. This is where you create, this is where you achieve. There's your success. And I say it again, the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, the Victory March. This is not a bad reading. This is only turns sour if you believe all the nonsense that other people try to sell you. Who do you think you are, right? But you're the architect of your life. Oh, by the way, let's do some quotes. And you got this. Keep your inner circle sacred and safe, especially in December. What you seek is seeking you. Concentrate on what you want to create. Don't fight the old. Yeah, and we are called to be architects of the future, not its victims. Buckminster Fuller. You got this, but as I said, somebody will come along and test you. Gemini, that was a heavy reading. 2026 is going to be better, I promise you. And this is not, I told you, I showed you the cards, right? It's not a bad reading. 9 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, Hierophant. Not a bad reading. Just keep your inner peace, protect your inner peace, and you're good. And that's all I got now. I'm shutting up. Now, Padaya, my friend. See you soon. Hopefully, see you soon. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And now, Padaya. Ciao.